Hi, Internet. Welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel. 1,000 subs! We made it! Yeah, thank you guys so much for, the liking, the commenting, the subscribing. Hitting 1,000 subs is a big milestone for YouTubers. I didn't even realize this until very recently, but someone actually told me that I was close to monetization with 1,000 subs, and I guess that's one of the criterias you need to get monetization for. So for aspiring YouTubers out there, I guess how it works is if you get 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time, and you have an AdSense account, I guess those are the things that get you monetization. I didn't know that. I just was just like having fun doing a YouTube channel. So I had no idea that that was like a thing. I knew monetization was a thing, but I didn't know the numbers. So I guess that's a huge milestone in terms of like getting to that next step. Um, but 1,000 subs, that's just for the people who are interested. I didn't start this channel for the sweet sweet YouTube money. I was just doing it for fun, just because I thought it'd be just a interesting thing to do. But you know, when you reach 1,000 subs, you want to do like a fun milestone video. And so I thought, you know what I'll do? I'm going to give you a look into my vinyl record collection. And before I get into that, I want to give a quick shout out to Andy and Alex, where most of the subs came from their fan base. So without Andy and Alex, I probably would not be at 1,000 subs this quickly. No, I definitely wouldn't be. Come on, let's keep it real. So when I reacted to their to the Kings and Culprit song, I did that on a whim because I want to react to obscure bands on the channel, and did that. And then they were kind enough to send people my way, so a big thank you to them. This wouldn't have been possible without them, and of course the people who have been liking the videos, commenting, sharing the videos. You guys are great. I'm glad I'm glad that my community was sort of founded off of their community because you people are just really cool. I consider a lot of you like friends, and have fun chatting with you in the comments. So for me, it's super cool. And so yeah, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, so I'm gonna get into the video for the people just like I just want to see the records. So this is my record collection, not my CD collection. I have way more CDs than I do have albums, and I don't know where my singles are. I've moved a lot over the past decade. I think between the years of 2008 to 2016, I moved once per year, where it was just really just crazy, just nonstop, moving to this place, moving to this place, and so, in terms of in my new house, I don't know where my singles are. So I have some Elvis singles and some Beatles singles and some Quiet Riot singles, and I just don't know where they are in my house. But this is my personal record collection, and just because I don't have it in my collection doesn't mean I don't know about the album or love the album. It's just I'm a millennial. I grew up with access to stuff on the internet, and with streaming services, you don't need physical copies of every album that you love, and so I try to collect as much as I can. But sometimes you don't have the money, or an album you want isn't available. Um, but this is just my personal collection. This is just what I've collected over the years, minus my singles, which I don't know where they are because I would love to go through those with you guys. But this is what I got, and it's not terribly organized. I'm a little bit of a chaotic, eccentric, weird person. So I mean, it's somewhat alphabetical, but I'm just I brought the stack in here. So yeah, let's go through these albums. First off, we've got Thin Lizzy, Fighting. I know, a shocker. Greg has Thin Lizzy on vinyl, right? I mean, freaking killer album. I mean, so many great songs. Just listen to it. It's great. It's awesome. This is sort of the first album where Lizzy really came into their own in terms of what people think of the classic Lizzy sound. A lot of people generally put this as the starting point where they really found their mojo. So, great album. Let's see, Thin Lizzy again. Mildly alphabetical. Live and Dangerous, considered just a monumental live album. If you like 70s live albums, this is an essential one. It's great. Black Rose, my favorite Thin Lizzy album. This is with Gary Moore in the band. Just yeah, not a bad song on here. Just all-time classic. Renegade. It's another Thin Lizzy album. It's great. Snowy White on guitar. A lot of people don't like the Snowy White albums. I think they're great. This one has Hollywood Down on Your Luck, which Warrant covered, and Billy Morris was in the band at the time. And the impressiveness of that album, that where Warrant covered the song, because Billy produced the album and played guitar on it. And I was so impressed with his playing and production that I hired him to be my guitarist and producer for the first album. So that's like a fun little thing that comes to mind when looking at this record. Phil Lynott, famously a little bit of a socialist. Very left leaning guy, and so he's got the red flag. So a little bit of controversy, but yeah, music. It's edgy and like, come on, think about it, like freaking, Bob Dylan and Neil Young, like, man, all those hippies were like super left leaning. So you can disagree with the politics of an artist but still enjoy it. Like I'm more left leaning, but shoot, I'll crank Ted Nugent. Like I don't need to 100% agree with the politics of the musicians I like. But Renegade, cool album. I'm rambling anyway. Boom. Thunder and Lightning. This album's really freaking metal and it's awesome. Yeah, the song "Thunder and Lightning" that is a staple in this household when a storm is a brewing. So whenever there's a storm brewing, I'm shaking my fist and I'm humming the riff like. I look like Popeye there. All right, but yeah, "Thunder and Lightning," it's great. Whoa, it is Thin Lizzy again. I hope you guys like looking at Thin Lizzy albums. This is a cool little record. It is Life Live. It is the farewell tour live album. And what's really cool is that all the Lizzy guitarists are on this album because they would bring them up as on guests on stage during the tour. So Eric Bell, Robbo's on here, Gary Moore, John Sykes. Snowy White, I don't think participated in the tour, but they have a couple tracks from his era in the band incorporated into the album. And for the closing track, the rocker, they have Gary Moore, Eric Bell, Robbo, Scott Gorham. Like they have all the guitar players minus Snowy White jamming on stage, which is just super super cool. So yeah, Life Live. Most people don't think it's as good as Live and Dangerous. I'm inclined to agree, but it's still really great. Chinatown. Boom. Another Thin Lizzy album. Really cool album artwork. Really cool album. I think very underrated in the catalog. Just great record. Triumph. Just a game. This is pretty fun because there's like a little like comedic board game inside the album art that you can play. It's just like a rock star board game, and there's spoilers. There's not really a way to win, and that's what's really fun about it. But some great songs. I mean, moving on, Lay It on the Line, Suitcase Blues. I mean, just yeah, it's a great record. Okay, now this is cool. This is the Beatles' Real Music. This is fun because it's like sort of a greatest hits of their like soundtracks from their movies. As you can see, it's got like the movies, and it's like the Beatles at the movies is kind of the gimmick of it. But I love the album artwork. It's just so fun, and it's a great little like collectible as a Beatles fan. Beethoven. I mean, come on. He's one of the all-time greats. You got to have some Beethoven in your collection. It's just required. Pat Benatar. Yeah, Pat Benatar, Crimes of Passion. Just, great record. I mean, I mainly got this for the cover of Wuthering Heights because I thought she does a really great version of it. But it's also got You Better Run, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. I mean, classic record. Just lots of great stuff. Tony Bennett, just, yeah, Tony's Greatest Hits, Volume 2. I mean, come on, he's great. All right, next up, we've got George Benson, In Flight. Just a really, really great guitar player. Just it's this isn't really a rock album. It's more of like a smooth, jazzy kind of album. But it's just hey, it's super super cool. Just a very smooth music. Very awesome. And then, complete other side of the spectrum, freaking Black and Blue. This is a really great underrated hair metal band. A lot of people mainly know them because Tommy Thayer from Kiss used to be in this band, but Jamie St. James, great singer, and just a lot of strong material on this one, like Hold On to 18, just, and The Strong Will Rock, lots and lots of really great songs. So a very cool, underrated hair metal album. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, Dio. This, quite possibly the best Black Sabbath album. Just yeah, so many Stone Cold classics. Phenomenal record. Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. It's just a really great compilation album. Um, I tend not to be as much into the greatest hits CDs, or well, not CDs. This is an album. I'm not as much into the greatest hits albums. I tend to prefer the studio records, but there are certain greatest hits records that just sort of like became iconic and just feel good to be a part of your collection. And so this one just, it feels good, feels iconic, feels right in the collection. All right, next up we've got Blood, Sweat and Tears. Just another great album. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. I mean, iconic, classic, so many great songs. I mean, you know them, you love them. I mean, this is one of those records that almost everyone has in their collection. Got Eric Carmen, formerly of the Raspberries. Let's see. This is the one with All by Myself. Sort of his debut solo album. Just a great, cool record. Another Eric Carmen record here. It's very similar to the last one, kind of more of the same. Yeah, just cool stuff. Carousel, classic. Rogers and Hammerstein, just a really great songwriting duo for the theater. Just yeah, cool stuff. Cheap Trick at Budokan, iconic live album. You know it, you love it. Of course, I have it. Ooh, and now we're at a modern vinyl. Got Along Came a Spider, Alice Cooper. Sort of a divisive Alice Cooper album I found out in retrospect, but man, I think this is just a very cool record. Pull out, got cool. It's just this is just it's a cool record. I don't really like the vinyl album cover as much. If you look at the inner sleeve here, this is what the CD album cover is. I just think it's just a more iconic photo. I love sort of like the difference in the makeup design. That's sort of an alteration of what he normally does. But I just think it's a better cover. But I was really into this record when it came out. I have the CD version. I bought the vinyl because I was young and had the money. Mac Davis, It's Hard to Be Humble. I mean, yeah, you know, I branch out into some other stuff. This is a fun record. I like it. Oh, yes. Friggin' Star Castle. Friggin' Star Castle. When I saw this at like a Goodwill and I looked at the album cover, or maybe this was at a flea market, I don't remember, but I looked at the album cover and I said, I know exactly what this band sounds like despite never having heard a single note. This band sounds exactly like what you think they sound like. You already know what this sounds like. If you haven't heard Star Castle, look it up and you're like, wow, that sounds exactly like how I thought it would sound. It's a fun prog record. I enjoy it. They have a good reputation in the prog community, as sort of a lesser known prog band, but yeah. Star Castle, I bought it just because of the album cover and I was not disappointed. I was tickled pink with how accurate it was in what the music ended up being. Really great. And boom, another Starcastle record. Also great. A lot of people sort of debate what is better. This one, this is the second album versus the first album. I think the first album is a little bit better, but yeah, it's more Starcastle. It's cool. It's fun. There we go. This is for the Cleveland folks. Michael Stanley Band, Heartland. This album is so freaking Northeast Ohio. My God, this is I think maybe the band's most successful album. This is where He Can't Love You, which was their only top 40 single. I think that was the only top 40 single. Maybe My Town charted. I think no, I think that might have just been number 80. But basically, this is a good blue collar working class rock. Yeah, just really cool stuff. Like it a lot. Stars. Yeah, freaking Stars. Great band. Really beloved in certain circles, but relatively obscure in others. This is their self-titled debut. So the band had the same management as Kiss and the same record label as the Beatles, and actually had a couple hits, but sort of faded into classic rock obscurity. Um, it's they had the talent, they had the looks, they had the songs, but just for some reason it didn't work. Great band. A lot of hair metal guys were really into this band. So Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, Poison. A lot of them consider this to be one of their primary influences. So I became a fan because I saw that all these hair metal bands liked Stars, and I felt to do the scholarly research and look back, and yeah, they're a band that I love. They're great, and also freaking one of the best mustaches in music right here. Just really great. Let's see. Zoom in on that. Phenomenal mustache. And here we have the band's Stars' second album, Violation. Probably my favorite record of theirs. It's a concept album, but it rocks really hard. Yeah, just lots of great cuts in this. Excellent stuff. The Streets of Fire soundtrack. I have not seen the movie, but I got the soundtrack because it has a couple like essential Jim Steinman songs on here. It's got Nowhere Fast and Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young, but also like some. It's got like freaking Dan Hartman and Ry Cooder. So there's some really cool stuff on this record. I keep meaning to see the movie. I actually started watching it once and then just got caught up in some other things. I only got like 15 minutes in. So yeah, I need to see this movie. But soundtrack, killer. Striper, to hell with the devil with the cool original album cover, brah. I mean, freaking Striper, in their prime, kicking butt, lots of great songs. I could just list off the songs, they're great, you can look it up, it's awesome. Mr. T, Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool. I love it. It's a really fun record. Treat Your Mother Right is just it's a really great song. This is a really fun record. Um, yeah, this is for promotional use only, not for resale. I bought it resale. Yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, Mr. T, Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool. Great record. Taj Mahal Maestro. Taj Mahal, really great blues guitarist. Sort of underrated blues guitarist, but just a really great record. This is sort of a modern release, but yeah, it's a great blues album. It's awesome. Outlaws, Lady in Waiting. This was the band that got me into Southern rock, where I saw them live, and they were just so freaking awesome. And so Outlaw is just a really killer Southern rock band. Another Outlaws album, Hurry Sundown, just more killer Southern rock. Great stuff. Oh yeah, this is a great one right here. Tribute, Ozzy, Randy Rhoads. This is just phenomenal live album. I feel like this one, like felt really iconic to me in my younger days, maybe because my dad played it all the time. But this one doesn't seem to be like mentioned as much in the great live album discussion, and I think this is absolutely just phenomenal, phenomenal, great stuff. Just a quintessential live album. Ah, Prince, the scandalous sex suite. I wish knew where my singles were because I love my Purple Rain single. Um, so yeah, this is obviously from the Batman soundtrack. Just yeah, just really, really just great song. This because scandalous is just a like this is sort of like a really just extended. This is really just a single that looks like a record. But yeah, great. Our Speedwagon, High Infidelity. I mean, come on, everybody has this one. I don't even know what I need to say. Everyone has this one. I mean, it's great. It's great. I'm not trying to be flippant about it, and also I'm trying to sort of trying to move quickly through these and not ramble too much because there's a lot. But you know, yeah, freaking REO Speedwagon, great record, awesome. Lionel Richie, I don't care what y'all say. Lionel Richie's great, phenomenal artist. And we got some more Lionel Richie. Dancing on the Ceiling is my favorite Lionel Richie song. I know it is dumb. I don't care. I freaking love it. I love it. I love it. This is great. Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, phenomenal album. The title track is one of the greatest songs ever made by humans. Fight me. Go ahead and fight me. It's so freaking great. Okay, so this is Moving Pictures. This is actually, I believe, my dad's copy of Moving Pictures that just ended up in my record collection, but I only have the inner sleeve. I don't have the cover. So I don't know why I don't have the cover of Moving Pictures. I don't know why I have my dad's copy of it, but it just ended up in here. But Moving Pictures, Rush, it's great. Oh, look, more Rush. It's Power Windows. Another great Rush album. That's just how they do things. Rush is great. Saga. Saga. Freaking worlds apart. I mean, the joke is Saga, amongst a lot of my Canadian friends, they call Saga the Canadian Rush. Uh, you know, super proggy, super fun. On the Loose is sort of the big song off this album. It's great. Slade. Just keep your hands off my power supply. Great record. Got Run Runaway and My Oh My, sort of like the two big songs off the album. And actually, probably the two biggest Slade songs statewide in terms of like the Slade versions being big. Obviously, Quiet Riot covered "Come On Feel the Noise" and "Mama We're All Crazy Now," but this one did pretty well for the band, if I recall correctly, at least in the states. Yeah, everyone has this album. Yeah, I mean, look, the iconic album cover and like the music is fun, but yeah, everyone has this one. The Tough Enough soundtrack. It's fun. It's fun. What can I say? It's fun. Ah, yes, and now this is the point where these are collector's items that I haven't opened yet, which honestly I'm probably just gonna open and listen to. Um, but yeah, Boom, T Rex, The Slider, iconic, great album. Um, maybe not iconic for the Yankees, but man, freaking great. Bolin Zip Gun, another great T Rex album. A lot of T Rex fans kind of trash it. Y'all are crazy. This is also great. Trillion. Man, I haven't listened to this album in a long time. Where honestly, I don't really remember it, so I should go back to this. I think I bought it because just the album cover was cool. Yeah, I need to go back and revisit this one because I honestly I don't really remember what this one sounds like. But yeah, cool album cover. I should listen to it after this. Twisted Sister, Love is for Suckers. This actually is probably my favorite Twisted Sister album, and I know it's effectively a Dee Snider solo album that just got marketed as Twisted Sister, but I like this direction for the band. It's more of a standard hair metal album. Like I think the production is way better than most Twisted Sister albums. I think the songwriting is killer. Um, yeah, just great stuff. Bonnie Tyler, Faster Than the Speed of Night. Man, what a great, great, great album. Produced by Jim Steinman, got Total Eclipse of the Heart and the title track Faster Than the Speed of Night. But all of the songs, even the non-Steinman written songs, have that great Steinman vibe to it. This is a great album. Love it. Roger Waters, The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. If you like Pink Floyd, essential album. Great. White Tiger, autographed by Mark St. John. So this is a super group where David Donato over here was one of the. He was almost the singer for Black Sabbath. So they were like in talks of having him be the new lead singer for Black Sabbath. Didn't go all the way through. And then you got Mark St. John over here who is in Kiss. They formed this band. It's hair metal. It's hair metal. It is a actually really good hair metal album where the production leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's a great album. Fun fact: Les Claypool engineered this album, and it was produced. Let's see, was this produced by? I don't know. It's not giving me credit on the. Oh, produced by Mark St. John. But Michael Wagner actually remixed track one, at least on the CD version, and that sounds great. Frank Zappa, Hot Rats, great album. There's I don't know if I can really contribute anything to the discussion right now, but I mean, Hot Rats, iconic, great record. Okay, so this annoys me. Not because of the music. The 1812 Overture is great, but I have the cover and I don't know where the record went. So I probably lost it in a move sometime, and that infuriates me because the 1812 Overture is really freaking great. Drives me nuts that I don't have the record anymore, but I still have at least the sleeve. Got a Beatles cover record here. It's fine. It's not necessarily. Oh, it's also covering Duke Ellington songs. Oh yeah, because Sophisticated Ladies on here. Okay. So mostly Beatles songs on this record. Haven't listened to in a while. It's fine. Yeah, so here we've got a classical music compilation album. Also fine. Good versions, but it's kind of like a really weird hodgepodge and the order. So it's like it's a weird listen. But you know, it was cheap. I bought it. It's enjoyable. And here we've got a nice little compilation of some songs from the swing era. I got this from my high school radio station when they were getting rid of all their records, and it was sort of just like everything was up for grabs. And so I grabbed this. It's just cool compilation of some cool songs. All right, and the only single that I know where the location is, Lee McCormick, "Train to Heartbreak." So this is a buddy of mine and his new single. Episode 2 of the Greg Troyan Show is us talking about it among other things. So yeah, cool single by my buddy. Retro Rock, recorded at Sun Studios. The Frozen 2 soundtrack on vinyl, on colored vinyl. Um, phenomenal album. one of the best albums ever made. I'm not joking. It's really great. Frozen 2, just great. And here we've got my favorite album of all time, Jim Steinman's Bad for Good. Every cut is essential. I have covered this album in its entirety live, which is very difficult to do. But phenomenal, phenomenal record. Love it. Michael Bolton! That's right, this was when Michael Bolton rocked, brah. Really great record, lots of great songs. Fool's Game was the big hit off this one. So this is Michael Bolton doing it's AOR, so kind of like a slightly heavier version of Foreigner. That's what you get with this record. Great stuff. Autumn Arrival. This is a really great, kind of obscure R&B record, but just great songwriting. This will make you shake your booty. This is freaking great. Love it. Argent Nexus. Argent. One of those bands that kind of gets lost in the discussion of great classic rock bands, but just really great underrated group. Aerosmith rocks. Yes, it does. AC/DC for those about to rock. It's AC/DC. They rock. Speaking of AC/DC, High Voltage. It also rocks. Highway to Hell. This too does rock. All right, so I don't actually know what this one is. So this is Carl Bromell, 4th of July. I don't know how this ended up in my collection. Actually, I think this might have been someone that my wife interviewed, and I got this record. I don't know if I've actually listened to this one. Yeah, I should probably do that. Axe Offering. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Freaking rock and roll party in the streets, bro. That's all you need to know. PDQ Bach, basically a troll parody of classical music. Yeah, this is a fun record. Revolver, iconic, great album. Many argue the best Beatles album. I can see that. Yeah, I could rant about this for a while. I'm just gonna move on. Yesterday and Today, not the Butcher cover. Great record. I prefer the Beatles UK release discography, as I'm wearing my Beatles shirt here. Because I grew up after those albums had been issued on CD and they had sort of become canonized in like the overall marketplace. Because that was the intended release of the albums, and then the albums for the American market were just completely rearranged and changed in weird ways. But because this is this is one of the better arrangements of material for the American market that they did. So even though I prefer the British releases, and like the way they flow, this is still a good. It's the Beatles. It's great. All right, so I got I got some cool records right here. So this is these are compilation albums of the Beatles of different eras, and so you got this is basically the cover of Please Please Me up here, and then they recreated that for what was going to be the Get Back album, and making it fun, like, oh, we're in the Capitol building, we'll take the same photo years later, so look how much we changed. But like these pair of compilations are just super super great, and for the latter album, it's blue. Isn't that cool? So the other album, the vinyl is black, so it's not necessarily overly creative in the packaging of the other one. I mean, it's still creative because the inner gatefold is cool. Just But yeah, just so many great songs on these two compilations. I think this is a really these two records are a really great starting point for the Beatles. These were my dad's, and he gave them to me. And these were I've loved these records my entire life. Like before I really became a music fan, I would put these records on my dad's turntable and play these all the time. Like these are like two records that are very important to me. I'm actually wasn't expecting how like choked up I'm getting just like holding these, but these two records are probably the first albums that I ever loved. Just really great. Ah, yes, the Kiss pile. Here we go. Music from the Elder, my favorite Kiss album. Put the hand there. Kiss doing progressive rock in kind of an awkward way. Really cool gatefold here. This is an album that I think benefits from like when I grew up in my musical taste because a lot of this album sounds like Final Fantasy music, and guys who know I love Nobuo Uematsu's music, and so I'm able to appreciate it because I appreciated that kind of music first. And so for people who just like didn't experience that kind of music even existing, I could see why this one didn't do well in the time it came out. But for someone who grew up on that kind of music and then seeing one of my favorite bands attempt that was super cool. Creatures of the Night, it's freaking metal. It's awesome. Creatures of the Night. This is a reissue of the album during the non-makeup era. This got messed up over here. That's a bit of a bummer. There's a butt on the back. The remixes on this album sound terrible. So if you're gonna listen to Creatures, listen to this version with the proper mix. The remix on this version is terrible. But as a collector, I'm like, yeah, I'll grab it. Lick It Up, great record. Asylum, great record. Some really high highs in this record. Some of the vocal production irks me a little bit. I think there's too much of the low vocals in the harmonies, and that I would have preferred a richer blend. But still a great record. Crazy Nights, great record. Yeah, the thong on the back though, pretty awkward. I'm not sure. Like he looks so cool. Like those are killer pants. Is like check out my abs, but just like I don't know. Like the thong's still a little bit weird, dude. Get the Knack, great record. Not just my Sharona. This entire record is great. The soundtrack for Love Story, pretty good. Lucifer's Friend, Mind Exploding, some cool German rock. Manlow, he's great. Come at me. Manlow's awesome. Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell, iconic, great record. For when they reissued the album on CD, they moved this songs by Jim Steinman all the way at the bottom where it's like kind of blurred out because you've got all the white here. Moved it up here where it should be. Great record, one of the all-time best-selling albums of all time. Freaking great, awesome. Meatloaf, Midnight at the Lost and Found. This is when someone's told Meatloaf, hey, why don't you try writing songs? Instead of just like having outside songwriters write your songs. And so this is when Meatloaf tried writing songs. It's actually pretty good. I like it. And here I've got a couple copies of Moonlight Drive. So they were a Cleveland-based Doors tribute band, and my dad was the singer's attorney, and I became friends with the singer as I grew older and started gigging and stuff. And so he was in many ways Bill Pettijohn was his name, was in many ways a musical mentor. And so this is basically an EP where it has yeah, it's basically just some Doors songs here. But what's really cool is that they do Gloria on this as a studio cut, and it's really great. Moonlight Drive also did original songs, but this is sort of just a little EP of them covering the Doors. Really cool. Bill autographed this version, so I found this one at a used record store and bought it, and then I saw this one in the shrink wrap, so I got both. Bill passed away from cancer a few years back, but he was a great musical mentor for me and a great friend. Miss him very much, and these records make me smile. So yeah, shout out to Bill. Mott the Hoople, Ian Hunter. It's great. It's awesome. End of story. Deep Purple in rock. Killer record. What else needs to be said? Def Leppard, Pyromania. Another one of those records that, a lot of people had. Just, oh man. Freaking Photograph. Come on, y'all. Diamond Head. This is great. I love this record. This is from the everything about it. The album artwork, the production, the songs. I know a lot of people came to Diamond Head because they were Metallica fans and then went backward. I'm actually not really much of a Metallica guy, but I love this record. This is freaking great. Dio, The Last in Line, iconic, great album, so many great songs. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at the track list now. Y'all, listen to this one. Great. Fastway! Killer record. This one was also my dad's that he gave to me. And he said, this band was supposed to be, the way he remembered that this was supposed to be the next Led Zeppelin, this band. Dave King went on to do Flogging Molly, which is a very different band. But this is just a great, kick-ass hard rock album. Fast Eddie Clarke. Yeah, just great record. Love it. Fleetwood Mac live, great live album. Speaking of great live albums, whoa, Frampton Comes Alive. I mean, the joke from Wayne's World, every household in the suburb had this. They gave it away with, packages of Tide or whatever. I mean, yeah, I have Frampton Comes Alive because everyone does. Let's see what we got here. Dan Fogelberg, Greatest Hits. Honestly, I don't know if I have listened to this one. Yeah. I think this is just one of those ones that ended up in my collection. So don't really know it. I should actually listen to this. Foreigner, self-titled. It's great. With Foreigner, some of the lyrics for Foreigner annoy me. But you know what? You can't deny the greatness of this record. It's really great. Geofria, yeah. I mean, this is just some fun 80s as hell music right here. Really great. Yes, Dave Grusin, Mountain Dance. This is a fun record. Some really great musicianship on this record. Really excellent. Hearing Aid, We're Stars. Yeah, just it has the great single Stars, which was has all these dudes on it, which is really fun. But also a cool live version of Heaven's on Fire by Kiss. Can You See Me by Jimi Hendrix just randomly on here. It's just a really cool track list. Just this is a great record. Heart, Passion Work. So this was a sort of a transition era for the band where Aerosmith kind of went through a similar thing where they were at a commercial low point and put out a really cool record that was more emblematic of their earlier sound before they had their big 80s pop comeback. This is a cool, underrated record. I like it. And I got all the you, honey. Don't you know that I love you? I mean, yeah. And I got a DeVita. Iron Butterfly. Come on, y'all. Thriller, because of course. Jethro Tull. And yeah, courtesy of WMMS. So this is another radio promo that actually, I think no, because yeah, if it's courtesy of WMS, that means they're probably handing out these for free to the public. WMMS was a really cool radio station. I guess still is a radio station, but it's not really cool anymore. In Cleveland, they had their mascot, the Buzzard, and they were a radio station, like a really cool rock radio station that broke a bunch of different bands. Like they were the station that broke Rush to the mainstream. So just a really cool rock radio station with a cool mascot. And so as I was growing up, like they were phasing out the Buzzard, and the station just wasn't as cool anymore as I was coming of age. But there was still like a lot of the legacy of them around Cleveland. Just a really great rock radio station. And yeah, Jethro Tull, great band. This is a great record. The Kinks Soap Opera. This is a great album, and I think that people like this is a very scathing, sarcastic record that will stab at your soul because it is just so brutally honest and sarcastic about reality. And I think a lot of people didn't want to like look at like the truth that this album was spitting. But damn, is this a great record? I freaking love it. Kiss self-titled debut. It's great. Kiss Dressed to Kill. Also great. Kiss the Originals, compilation of the first 3 albums. Mine is Beat the Hell Up because I got this from my aunt. It is trashed in here. Like, it is beat the hell up. But you know what? Hey, this was a compilation that a lot of people had. The Mushroom Cloud is very, very silly. Kiss Alive. Come on, y'all. Boom. Kiss Destroyer. Come on, y'all. Boom. Looks like the inner sleeve for Destroyer, so I just have another copy of Destroyer, but just the inner sleeve, and not the cover. But yeah, another copy of Destroyer. Why do I have multiple copies of Destroyer? I have no freaking idea. Rock and Roll Over. Another copy of Rock and Roll Over. Why do I have multiple copies? I have no freaking idea. Love Gun. So, what's fun about my copy of Love Gun is that it has this crack in it. Because once again, I got these sort of secondhand. I think this is another one that was my aunt's. But what we would do when we were playing this on my record players, like we would like shimmy this to try to get it to like, you know, line up right where it needed to be. And so there'd be like a little skip in the record. But we just joked in high school when we were listening to this, my buddies and I, we just like, that just makes it heavier, bro. This album is so heavy that the record cracked from the heaviness of the music, bro. You know, and which is funny because there's way heavier albums than Love Gun, obviously. But it's a great record. Bit of immaturity is like, oh, look, it's like a penis. The way we had the track list. Kiss. Friggin' Kiss. Speaking of friggin' Kiss, Alive 2. I'm actually not that big on this album. Think I also got this one secondhand. I mean, like, obviously the gatefold is cool, but this one sounds really, really fake in terms of 70s live albums, and that's a bit of a bummer. Like, it's so obvious how overproduced this is. Where at least Alive felt like a real show. This feels very fake. The studio tracks are fun, though. Double Platinum! Whoa, isn't it cool, bro? Honestly, I'm not too big on this as a listen. Strutter 78 is cool, but like the sequencing is weird. The added effects are weird. But you know, it's cool because it's shiny. Ace Frehley 1978 solo. I don't know where the album cover is, but here it is. Paul Stanley 1978 solo. Peter Criss 1978 solo. I love this record. And Dynasty. Another Kiss record. Also great. So yeah, that is my record collection in kind of a random, incoherent order because I didn't alphabetize them. But those are my records. Um, like I said, I have a much bigger CD collection, and just because I don't have an album necessarily doesn't mean that I don't love it. Like, y'all know how much I love Thin Lizzy. I don't have a copy of Nightlife. Doesn't mean I don't love that album. Doesn't mean I don't love Thin Lizzy. Just never got around to buying it. Never saw it at like a used CD store. And when I was ordering CDs online, I'm like, oh, I'll get to that one later. So just like never got around to buying a copy of Nightlife. Doesn't mean it's not great. Doesn't mean I don't love it. But like, yo, dog, Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music are a thing. So when I'm too broke to buy it, but I can still listen to it, and they still get the royalty cut from my streams. You know, yeah. Sometimes albums you love, you just don't have copies of. But this is just like my personal collection I've amassed through the years. Yeah. So that's my 1,000 subscriber special. Just me just going through my records for like an hour or however long this was. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that kept your interest. Be sure to do the liking, the commenting, the subscribing, all the things. Thank you guys so much for helping me reach this milestone. And yeah, stick around for more videos. Bye, everyone.